Hello everyone, thank you for joining me today. My name is Sarah, and in today's video we're going to be going over how to upload plans and specifications in your RedTeam Flex database. So as you can see, we're here within our project in RedTeam Flex, and we've got two ways to head to the plans and specifications page. We can either get there using the home icon by clicking on plans and specifications, or we can come to the scope tab and simply use the manage icon over here to toggle over to our plans and specs page. Once here, we can view all of our uploaded plans and specifications, and more importantly for today's video, we can add new plans and specs right here using the new icon. So you can see we've got an option to add plans and specifications, and that's going to allow us to upload files from outside of our database. We've also got an option to import from another project. So if you have documents that are identical from one project to the next, you can import using the project number and the scope of those plans and specifications. Of course, the 00 scope referring to your original project scope. So we're going to go ahead and upload some plans and specifications that are not from another project. And the first thing we need to do is go ahead and select the author from our drop-down here. Now, the companies that we're going to see available as authors are going to be our third-party companies within our database. So if you don't see the company that you're looking for, it is either because you haven't added them to your database or because they're not listed as a third party. They might be listed as a customer or a vendor. So if you don't find who you're looking for, you can use the Add New button to go ahead and add a new third-party company, or you can search through this list. I can scroll down, or I can use a search feature here to type in who I'm looking for. So we'll go ahead and choose 10,000 volts architecture. We can go ahead and put in our version name or number if we'd like. Notice that's not required. All I need is the author and the date for these plans and specs. But we'll go ahead and put in a version, and we can type in whatever we'd like. Type in bid set, and we'll choose the date that those plans are effective. We then have the opportunity here to specify the type, which would be drawings, specifications, or other. Notice you can go ahead and add to these drop-down categories. So if you'd like to add various types of plans and specs, your administrators can do that in the configuration menu. We're going to go ahead and say we're uploading drawings. We can choose a discipline. Discipline is another list where we will give you a default set of disciplines, but if you need to add to those, you can. Notice the Add New option for those who have the permissions. This can also be done from the configuration menu. And you'll see any disciplines that have already been used in this project, which in this case is none. So we'll say we're uploading some architectural drawings. We can leave any notes that we'd like about this set of uploads. And then you have a choice to make here as to whether you'd like to use OCR to name your files or whether you'd like to do it yourself. If you choose OCR, that's our optical recognition software. It's going to go ahead and scan your files, picking out the number and the name of the plan or the file, and it'll go ahead and suggest the file name and number for you. If, on the other hand, you don't want to use our OCR, you can choose to name the files yourself, and this might be good for situations where you know that your file name is the name that you'd want on that particular plan or specification. So we will still suggest file names or numbers, but we will pull that from the name of the file that you're uploading. One of the reasons we added this feature is because there may be some files that don't play well with that OCR. So if what you find is that certain files that you receive from specific architects don't do well with the OCR capability, you can choose to upload them in this way and name your files once the upload is complete. Of course, in either case, you'll have a chance to review the number and naming of your files and make manual edits if needed. So down here, we're going to go ahead and upload our files, and we can choose to either split pages or don't split. Now, split pages would be taking, say, a 10-page file and breaking that up into 10 one-page files. That can be useful for things like drawings, where your team may not want to open a 30-page set of drawings and scroll down to page 29 every single time they want to view that drawing on their phone or tablet. Whereas the don't split option keeps a file as a whole and does not split apart the pages into separate files. So that would be good for something like a spec book or other documents that really need to be viewed as a whole. Now I'm going to go ahead and add a file. I can either drag and drop within these gray dotted lines, or I can click Add Files to go ahead and grab a file from my file folders. So there's our sample project drawings. We're going to bring those in. You can see them down here, and we can start the upload whenever we're ready, but we may have more files to add. In this case, I'm going to go ahead and say we want to use the OCR to suggest file names, just to allow you to see how that works, and to note that if for any reason it's not providing the results that you want, you will have the ability to override those suggested file names. So let's go ahead and start the upload. Now this upload should be fairly quick, but depending on the number of files that you're uploading, it may take a bit of time. You don't need to wait on this page for the file upload to complete. You can move to other projects, log out. We'll be sending you an email as a confirmation once the files have finished uploading and are ready for your review. So I'm going to go ahead and refresh the page to see if they're here and ready, but you can also move on to other tasks and wait for that email notification. So you can see here the files have been uploaded, but the OCR is still processing. We can see that 8 of 10 files have been processed, and now that the OCR is complete, those are ready for review. So prior to being able to publish and commit those drawings, I need to go ahead and review the file naming and numbers by clicking here. So we can see that with this set of drawings, the OCR did not accurately pick up the number and name of the files. Now I use this set of files on purpose so that we can demonstrate what we would do if that did not function. So you can see here you've got 3 windows. I've got a window to view the entire page, the entire file. I've got a top window here which shows me the part of this page that was scanned by the OCR to find the drawing number. And then I have the bottom window, which is the part of the file that was scanned to pull the name. If I'd like to update where it's scanning, I can simply click on either of these to correct one, the number up top or the name down below. If I need to correct both, I can go ahead and click on the drawing itself, and I can scroll through to find the right spot where I see the number and the name. Now I simply select the area that I want to rescan the drawing number. Notice the note up top. We're doing the number first, so we can go ahead and grab this area and say this is where we would like the OCR to look to find the drawing number. Now, if we know that the number for each page is going to show up in the same spot for all 10 of these pages, we can hit Apply to All, or we can just apply to this page. I'm going to go ahead and apply to all, and it's going to go ahead and rescan all of these pages looking for the number. We can also ask it to rescan the name. And to do that, we'd operate the same way. We'd come down here and select the area right here where we want it to search for the title on either simply this page, if we hit apply, or all pages in this upload, if we hit apply to all. Okay, so now we can see that the rescanning of our numbers and names has taken place, and we can then review and make sure we don't need to make any other corrections. Right now I can see that the A here maybe got cut off a little bit, so we can make corrections as necessary simply by typing in to the number or the name section. And once we've made all of our corrections as needed, we can double check any of the other information that we entered earlier. So the author, version, type, discipline, and date can all be altered here. So for example, if some of these pages were architectural, but not all of them, I could edit those disciplines. I can add descriptions to particular items if I'd like. And then when I'm ready, I simply go ahead and hit save to save all of these names and numbers for these files. It's going to go ahead and give us a confirmation message so that we know all of these have been uploaded. We have the opportunity to continue adding more plans and specifications, create an action item to pass off next steps to someone else on our team, or go ahead and close. Once we close, we're going to be able to view these in the list view. And here we're going to start to see a pretty consistent color scheme within RedTeam, which is that if an item appears in green text here, it is a draft item. And that means that it's not a final copy. It can be edited or deleted prior to finalizing it here in RedTeam. And our word for finalizing an item would be to commit it. So until it's in a committed status, it shows here in green as a draft. If I want to make edits to any of the information I'm seeing on this page, I would go ahead and hit the pencil in order to edit. If I determine that I've uploaded the wrong file altogether, I can use the tools icon here to go ahead and delete any of these files. And you'll notice that I can also use the checkboxes over here to take actions in groups. So whether I need to delete several items, or if I'm ready to commit all of these as final copies that do not need any more edits, I can use the checkboxes to grab a group of these, or the checkbox at the top to select all of them, and I can then commit or delete them from here. Notice that you'll also be able to download or edit. Once we commit our plans and specifications, they are final copies. We will not be able to edit or delete them, and they will be visible in the online plan room for this project. So from here, some other management items for your plans and specifications would be the ability to view these particular items. So we can go ahead and click on the name of any of our plans and specifications to open the document and view it. And from here, you've got the capability to mark up and attach, to create a red line markup, or to compare current and older versions. So what we would consider a markup and attach would be a temporary markup, a markup that we're making in order to communicate something to an individual or a group, or to ask a question. So if I use the markup and attach feature, my markups will only be shown in the document that I attach those markups to. So I could make a markup here in order to ask a question about the laundry room and attach that to an RFI from the dialog tab. You'll be able to attach your marked up copy to any of the various files that you have available in the dialog tab, any of those document templates. But outside of that RFI or document template, those markups will not be visible to anyone else. Whereas with the red line markup feature, this is adding new permanent markups to this drawing. So once I save my red line markup and publish it, it will be visible to everyone who has access to the current copy of this drawing in the plan room, in the mobile app, and in the web version of Flex. Of course, that is permissions-based, so you'll be able to determine who has the ability to mark up and attach and who has that higher ability to redline markup and make permanent changes to the drawing. Lastly, you've got the compare feature. That's going to allow you, as you upload new copies with addendums or redline markups or change orders, you'll be able to compare with an overlay capability the current version to any older version. So let's go ahead and take a look at the markup capabilities that we have. If we click on Redline Markup, it's going to reload this drawing with all of our markup tools up top. So you can see up here we have the ability to choose between drawing, highlighting text, or erasing, and we can go ahead and control the color and the fill, the transparency, the width of our line, and other various effects that are available here in this drop-down. So if I want to go ahead and draw, I can simply make a line. I can also highlight, highlighting text, or erasing if I'd like. Over here, we can see that we have the ability to add images, stamps, or hyperlinks to this particular drawing. So if I add an image, I can simply upload a file, and I will be able to size that and place it here within the drawing. I can add a stamp, and that's going to allow me to choose from our existing stamp collection here. And you can also create custom stamps if needed. And then we've got our hyperlink feature, which allows you to go ahead and designate where a hyperlink should be, such as here over furnace. And then I'm going to be able to either link this area to a website URL or to another page within this drawing. So if this is a multi-page document, I could use this to hyperlink my table of contents. And when we click on a certain section, it would take us directly to that page. Otherwise, I can say that maybe somewhere else I have items related to this furnace on a website link, and I can go ahead and put the URL in here, whichever I prefer. Other items, we can go ahead and add notes to particular sections in this drawing. We can add text boxes. We can control the type of line that we're drawing with. So you can see I was drawing with a standard line. I could choose to draw with a cloud, and that's going to allow me to go ahead and create my cloud as I see fit. So various options here. We can also print this, or we can use this option over here to go ahead and crop if we'd like. Now once we've completed all of our markups, we can go ahead and click the Publish option to make this the new current copy. It's going to let us know that all of these markups will replace the current file in all locations where your plans and specs can be viewed. So again, this is permissions based. Someone who has the ability to completely update the drawing would be performing a red line markup. And now we can take a look at that particular file. And we're going to see that those markups are in place and that hyperlink actually still exists. So if we clicked on furnace, it would take us to that designated page or website that we had chosen as we perform the markups. Now, a few other features you'll want to be aware of here on the Manage Plans and Specifications page is that you've got a View option here to go ahead and view a printable copy of your plans and specs, so that can be printed or saved to PDF if you need to communicate it with anyone. You've also got a filter option here that's going to allow you to filter these items or group them by scope as you create change orders. You'll be able to go ahead and group documents involved in a particular change. And then here under the other icon, you have the ability to arrange. And if I'd like, I can click Arrange to drag and drop my files into a particular order. And that's going to allow me to simply say AO3 Echo should be up here at the top. It's going to save automatically. And I can choose to drag and drop my disciplines as well. If I would like architectural to appear at the top or the bottom of my list of disciplines, I can do that. And then as I back out, those changes are saved. So you'll see the page reload, and I now have AO3 Echo at the top here. So that is all of the capability we have here as far as uploading your original plans and specifications and making markups to those plans and specifications. We do have another video regarding how to manage your addendums, should you get any addendums to update your plans and specs. But for now, that will do it for today. Thank you so much for joining us, and thank you for choosing RedTeam Flex.